Today, we're going to learn about the nitrogen cycle.
Before we jump right into it, I would kindly ask you to subscribe for the channel to stay updated.
The nitrogen cycle is an essential process that moves nitrogen through the atmosphere, soil, water, and living organisms. Let's break it down into simple, teachable steps with examples and visuals for better understanding. First one. Nitrogen fixation. What happens here? Nitrogen gas makes up most of the air we breathe, but plants and animals cannot use it directly. Through nitrogen fixation, this nitrogen is changed into forms plants can use, like ammonia. How does it happen? Bacteria help. Special bacteria, like rhizobium, live in the roots of plants like beans and peas. These bacteria fix nitrogen for the plants to use. Nature helps. When lightning strikes, it changes nitrogen gas into a form that falls to the soil with rain. Humans help. Factories make nitrogen fertilizers using a process called the Haber-Bosch method. Think of it like this: bacteria and lightning are breaking down nitrogen so plants can eat it. Second. Ammonification. What happens here? When plants and animals die, their bodies have nitrogen in them. Decomposers like bacteria and fungi break down their remains into ammonia or ammonium. How does it help? This ammonia becomes part of the soil, where it's ready for the next step in the nitrogen cycle. Think of it like this: decomposers are nature's cleaners, recycling dead plants and animals into something useful for the soil. Third one. Nitrification. What happens here? Ammonia in this oil is not fully ready for plants yet. It needs to be converted into nitrates, which plants can absorb. This is done in 2 steps by bacteria. Step 1, Nitrosomonas bacteria turn ammonia into nitrites. Step 2, Nitrobacter bacteria turn nitrites into nitrates. Think of it like this: these bacteria are like cooks, preparing nitrogen into a form plants can easily eat. Fourth. Assimilation. What happens here? Plants take in nitrates from the soil through their roots. They use this nitrogen to make proteins and other important nutrients. Animals then eat plants to get their nitrogen. Think of it like this: plants are like factories, turning nitrogen into food for animals, including humans. Fifth one. Denitrification. What happens here? Some bacteria, like Pseudomonas, take nitrates and turn them back into nitrogen gas. This gas goes back into the air, completing the cycle. When does it happen? This usually happens in wet soils where there isn't much oxygen, like in swamps. Think of it like this: these bacteria are like the cycle's cleanup crew, returning nitrogen to the air. Sixth. Anammox. What happens here? In places like ocean floors or wet sediments, bacteria directly turn ammonium into nitrogen gas without needing oxygen. Why is it important? This helps remove excess nitrogen from water ecosystems and prevents pollution. Think of it like this: it's like a shortcut for nitrogen to return to the air from water. Human impact on the nitrogen cycle. Humans change the nitrogen cycle in big ways. Using too much fertilizer adds extra nitrogen to soil and water. Burning fossil fuels releases nitrogen oxides, polluting the air. Waste from farms and factories adds nitrogen to rivers, causing problems like algal blooms. Why is this a problem? Too much nitrogen in water causes algae to grow too fast, using up oxygen and killing fish. This is called eutrophication. Think of it like this: too much nitrogen is like overfeeding a plant, it can harm the environment. Summary. The nitrogen cycle is nature's way of moving nitrogen between the air, soil, water, and all living things. First, nitrogen from the air is changed into a form plants can use, like ammonia, with the help of bacteria, lightning, or factories. Then, special bacteria turn ammonia into nitrates, which plants and animals need to grow. When plants and animals die, decomposers recycle nitrogen back into the soil. Finally, some bacteria return nitrogen to the air through processes like denitrification and anammox. However, when humans use too much fertilizer or burn fuels, it can upset the nitrogen cycle and harm the environment, causing problems like water pollution and algal blooms.